He says he would carry out a deportation operation to remove more than 11 million people from the country. He says he would use the military to build migrant detention camps. He would let red states monitor women's pregnancies and prosecute those who violate abortion bans. The government is now officially shut down because we don't have funding to pay the federal workers. Trump really is running the country like it's one of his businesses. He said
I was angry at the time because I was here in New York.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? This guy is close. It's right there. We should go. That wasn't a stand-up comedy show. It was supposed to be a
political rally.
Something.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel and Bad Bunny just turned political chaos into an art form. When a late-night comedian and a reggaeton superstar unite to roast the most headline-hungry president in modern history, the results are nothing short of catastrophic for Trump's ego. This wasn't just a takedown, it was a festival of irony, rhythm, and raw mockery.
I mean, that son of a bitch, is really unbelievable.
Mr. Son of a bitch.
I mean,
Mr. Son of a bitch.
His royal... Yes. Yeah, no, I never imagined that we'd ever have a president like this, and I hope we don't ever have another president like this again. I mean, I never even imagined there would ever be a situation in which the president of our country was celebrating hundreds of Americans.
I'm never performing in the U.S. again. I'm scared that ICE might raid the venue outside my show. And honestly, I can't risk the safety of my fans like that. Mainland America just doesn't feel necessary to me anymore.
Then comes Bad Bunny, the global superstar who turns political apathy into poetic vengeance. He doesn't need a suit, a teleprompter, or a MAGA hat, just rhythm and brutal honesty. He sees Trump's world as a remix of chaos and contradiction, a beat so off-tempo that even auto-tune can't fix it.
Prosecute. He's weighing pardons for everyone who attacked the Capitol January 6th. He said he might not come to the aid of an ally in Europe or Asia if he felt that country wasn't paying enough. He would gut the civil service. He would close the White House Pandemic Preparedness Office and staff his administration only with those who believe the election was stolen from him. And when they asked about dictatorship, he said, I think a lot of people like it.
Together, Kimmel and Bad Bunny form the perfect duo of reality check and rebellion. One dismantles Trump's illusions with humor sharper than policy briefings, while the other adds melody to the madness.
Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. Now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans who work for their shows who don't make millions of dollars. And I don't know if you saw this, but he made a major announcement. I am ordering my administration to declassify and release all government records related to Amelia Earhart, her final trip, and everything else about her. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We had no attention to that matter. Unless her final flight was to Epstein's Island, no one cared.
Kimmel doesn't just poke fun, he dissects the absurdity with surgical precision. He paints Trump as a man trapped in a permanent press conference, obsessed with applause, allergic to accountability, and convinced that reality is optional. Every joke hits like a public service announcement disguised as humor. He takes Trump's speeches, policies, and outbursts and arranges them into a tragicomedy that makes Shakespeare's fools look like geniuses.
Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying.
Kimmel exposes the contradictions in Trump's political persona. The self-proclaimed dealmaker who can't stop losing lawsuits. The patriot who outsources his campaign merchandise. The tough talker who folds faster than a cheap chair when faced with criticism. Every punchline lands because it's grounded in reality. Trump's reality, the one he built out of half-truths and whole delusions. Bad Bunny, meanwhile, embodies the opposite of Trump's America. He's global, inclusive, unapologetically authentic. His art rejects the idea that power equals respect. Watching him ridicule Trump's obsession with image is poetic justice. Trump measures success by branding. Bad Bunny measures it by impact. One thrives on division, the other on connection. And that contrast burns brighter than any press headline. As the roast unfolds, it's less about personal attack and more about exposing performance politics. Trump governs like he's headlining a tour, except the fans are taxpayers and the ticket prices are national consequences. Kimmel turns that reality into pure satire, describing a presidency that promises greatness and delivers punchlines. Kimmel complements that energy with a voice that transcends language. His fans may not all understand the politics, but they understand performance, and they see through Trump's. His charisma exposes the emptiness behind the bravado. When Bad Bunny mocks Trump's rallies as theatrical tantrums, it's not political, it's human. He reminds everyone that power without empathy is just noise without rhythm. Together, they do what few can, turn global frustration into collective laughter. Trump's presidency becomes the punchline of a joke the world's been trying to finish for years. Kimmel sharpens every observation until it stings. Bad Bunny softens it with rhythm so the truth hits deeper. The result isn't just mockery, it's cultural catharsis. Kimmel's jabs grow more surgical as the roast continues. He dissects the PR stunts, the photo ops, the hollow speeches. Trump's need to rewrite history becomes its own form of comedy, like a magician trying to make failure disappear with a wave of rhetoric. Kimmel doesn't even have to exaggerate. The absurdity speaks for itself. Bad Bunny, always one beat ahead, layers the message with defiance. He sees Trump's politics as a remix of nostalgia and fear designed to keep power by playing old records. But Bad Bunny's audience has moved on. They crave progress, equality, authenticity. His performance turns Trump's worldview into the outdated track everyone's ready to skip.
Which meant it was time for our commander in Cheeseburger to weigh in on one of the most pressing issues our military faces today, unattractive battleships.
You know, in the Second World War, they were freighters at different types, but we were doing a ship a day, and now we don't do ships. And I'm not a fan of some of the ships you do. I'm a very aesthetic person, and I don't like some of the ships you're doing aesthetically. They say, oh, it's stealth. I say, that's not stealth. An ugly ship is not necessary in order to say you're stealth.
Is he planning to have sex with these ships?
Kimmel and Bad Bunny expose the hollowness of power that survives on theatrics, proving that once you strip away the spectacle, all that remains is ego trying desperately to stay relevant. Bad Bunny's artistry carries the final blow with style. His rhythm paints Trump as yesterday's rhythm, loud, predictable, and out of sync with reality. The people no longer chant slogans, they chant lyrics. They don't follow orders, they follow rhythm. Through him, satire becomes a language of freedom, and laughter becomes the anthem of awareness. Together, Kimmel and Bad Bunny show that ridicule can rewrite history faster than propaganda can print it. The laughter doesn't mock the nation, it heals it. It reminds everyone that power without humility is temporary, that arrogance always ends under a spotlight not of triumph, but of exposure. Their roast isn't cruelty, it's clarity. The sound of truth finally louder than delusion, echoing across a world that refuses to forget the lesson.